Hey everyone, Livy here, back with another video, and today I am actually, I swear to God guys, I am going to get to the walkthroughs. I do have a couple planned, but today I'm not doing a walkthrough. I am doing basically an unboxing of the Metanoia Marseille. This is a deck that came out a little bit ago on Kickstarter. And I decided to back, which some people who've been on this channel a while might find that very odd because, as it says in the, the deck's title, it is a Marseille deck. And I'm not usually a fan. Well, okay, I am learning Marseille, but would I call myself a Marseille girly? No. I'm not even a girl, right? So it's like, but you know what I mean? It's like that joke, like the girly. Am I a Marseille fan? No. No, I'm not, usually. Apparently there is a guidebook I can get. So there's that. I guess I would have to see. The Kickstarter also came with this little sticker. Now this is pretty cool. There's, look at this. It's like an enamel pin. It's very pretty. But I will say I don't really use enamel pins much. Like I don't have anything to stick them onto. So that's always what's sad. But this has a nice little pouch and everything. See, I don't really use these either, but I got this also, if you guys remember, I got one of these from the Lillifer Tarot. It's a little like yes, no coin. So no, yes. These are kind of cool, but yeah, I don't use these very often. So well, that'll be interesting to see how often I do. But let's look into the deck. Now, I'm going to be upfront right off the bat, guys. You can probably tell this deck is tiny. That's because I backed the mini version of this deck. And that will surprise literally no one because I am a fan of miniature or smaller sized tarot decks. This is an interesting mini choice though, because as you can tell maybe from the density and stuff, this is about the same size, I would say, as the mini version of the Oak, Ash, and Thorn. So it's actually a very good size. As you can see, I have small hands. It fits in the palm of my hand, which is good. But it's long, you know what I mean? So that's amazing. So Metanoia Marseille, it says it right there. It's by Bouchette Design. I hope that's how she pronounces it. Carrie Snook, I believe. And yeah, this is the box, as you can see. It's very pretty. The reason why this deck in particular caught my eye is because it is Marseille style, but it's done in a very interesting way where it's more, what's it called? It's more leaning on a Victorian kind of feel, like Regency look and feel to the cards. So I thought that was cool. So I guess upon opening, there's a little message here by the creator, Carrie, says her name down there, but talks about like, as we journey through the ever-changing worlds around us, we can always come back home to our center, exploring new spaces and ways of being we had not recognized before. Entering each new phase of our lives weaves together a magical journey that we nurture and pass on through space and time. Thank you. So it's just like a little extra card. To be honest, most of these I end up pulling out of my deck because they take up space and then I can't like get my deck back out of their tuck boxes. So this will probably go to the side. Now, as you can see, this is what's pretty cool. This deck has these beautiful blue matte edges. And in person, I don't know if you can tell on the camera because I'm like filming in early daytime, so I'm starting to get light, but it's not the greatest still. These are almost like sky blue or close to robin's egg, but I feel like robin's egg blue always has a little bit of green in it, and these don't look like that. And they are slightly metallic. I don't know if you guys can catch that in the light, but they are. And once again, these are the backs. I've been hesitant about getting decks from this creator in the past because there's something about the way she digitally makes her art that makes the images feel... I'm sorry, this is mean. I don't mean to be mean. It's just like my truth here is that they look a little unfinished. So I'm curious to see how I feel about them once we go through this, but that's just been my first impressions, really. Like I said, as you can see, edges, it's a nice size. Again, I have smaller hands, so this works for me. And the cardstock, guys, let's talk cardstock because you know me. I will say, upon feeling this, this feels like it is a very light rose petal finish, which other people, I guess, call soft touch matte. I don't know. I'm not 100% good at like knowing all the names and technicalities of cardstock, but it feels like that because it has like that texture in the front. Okay. So with that said, let's get into the cards here. I'll put these up a little closer so you guys can see. Now, what I do find an interesting choice is that she decided to keep the French names of things. So that's interesting. But this is the Fool. This dog, this dog is kind of funny though. I understand. It's like trying to keep the person from jumping off or moving away, but it kind of looks like it's humping him. So it's kind of a weird like choice. But anyways, this is the Fool. The Magician. Not gonna lie, I'm not 100% loving his face here though. Something about the weird mustache twirling I'm not 100% a fan of. But I don't know. This is, you guys might be thinking, well, then if you knew you weren't going to be 100% a fan of this, why did you get it? And this is the Empress, by the way. Oh no, not the Empress, sorry. This is the High Priestess. And that's because I feel like I need at least one Marseille deck that's more traditional looking, because I am trying to learn Marseille, so this could be a better study deck than the deck I did have that was like not very traditional looking Marseille. Here's the Empress. And the Emperor. So yeah, I don't know, I'm trying to branch out a little bit. This is the Hierophant. So even though I don't know how long this deck will be in my collection, this is the Lovers. For now, I want to show this one off, especially if you were thinking about getting this deck. This is a Chariot. Justice. Now, what I do appreciate about this deck right off the bat is that there is diversity of at least like attempts are being made, the Hermit here, at diversity of people, like that they look, you know, there's people of color. Some of them do look like they're older, the Wheel of Fortune, but some of them don't 100% look like they're older people. So I don't know, it's an interesting mix. This is Strength. The Hangman. I like some of the color choices, like this Death card's really cool. But, like, again, I don't know. This is just an interesting deck. It's definitely not something I would normally get. Temperance, because it, again, like, I don't think I'm 100% sold on the art style. This is the Devil. But I do find it interesting of a deck, and I think it'll help me in studying Marseille. This is a Tower. The Star. This star is pretty though, although I'm not a fan of like the color, the shade of like yellow they chose for this. I don't know if you guys can pick it up, but it's kind of like a weird, not as nice shade of yellow. The Moon. The Sun. I at least appreciate that the Sun is not the like baby. I know it's not like that though, I think in the traditional Marseille anyway, so that's good. It just looks like this, and it's not the creepy baby riding horse thing. I'm just not a fan of that. Judgment. And the World. Okay. Now, I'm going to be honest. This is a Marseille deck. So the rest of this is going to feel very repetitive, I guess, except for the court cards, right? Because as you can see, typical Marseille fashion, they're very fancy and otherwise. Now, I think that the colors and stuff of this is nice, but I don't like that she put her name and she put the year that this deck is being produced on this. I mean, I get why she did it. It's like, oh, look it, this is like when this deck came out. Isn't that so cool, guys? But I don't know. I don't know how that'll look going into years later trying to use this deck. You know what I mean? So I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, it's a typical Marseille. So they all kind of will have the same pattern. These are the pentacles, of course. I don't have any thoughts one way or the other because, again, I'm barely scratching the surface of learning Marseille. So I just wanted a deck that was more traditional looking and would help me get into it. But I do have to be honest, even though it is a mini, I'm not 100%, like I said, sold on the artwork. So this was actually... I don't know then if I should have showed this deck, but it was like, this was one where I was honestly considering, like, I backed it and then I immediately kind of regretted it, but it, you know, it kind of went through already. It was one of those things. This is the Page of Pentacles. The Knight. The Queen. See what I mean? It's like regency looking, which I think is a cool idea. And the King. Like, I think it's a cool idea. I don't know. I need something with the line work or something to be more touched up in a way so it doesn't look as like faded and weird. Anyways, we're getting into the cups. This is a cool looking cup though, not gonna lie. I do like that she at least chose to have colored backgrounds for this part. I kind of wish, like when we go into, oops, sorry, like how the majors, you know, how it's just a white background. I'm not as much of a fan. I kind of wish she kind of like kept up a theme where, see, it had more like color in the background. That would have been cool, I think. 2 of Cups, 3, you know. It's also interesting. I don't know if it was like a mistake or if they're supposed to mean something, but there's like little lines of different things throughout some of these suits. This is what I mean. It's like this one is devoid of them. So was it an accident? Is it a printing error? Is it like things not being touched up? I don't know. See, this one has it again. There's like the little lines. But I do think it's pretty. Like see, this is a deck where I think the minors are prettier than the other ones, I guess. Just because it looks a little better. This is the Page of Cups. The King of Cups. See, what I mean by like unfinished, for those who are like, why are you being a hater? And I'm not trying to be like mean. But see, look at the tail here. See how it's like done in a way where it's very faded, but it looks like the lines need to be like a little cleaner or something. Like it looks too soft, almost like she hasn't finished putting the layers on to make it like stand out more instead of fading away. That's what I mean by feeling like it looks a little unfinished. But I've noticed she does that with her other deck. What is it? The Meraki. That's why I've never gotten that one. This is the Queen. And the King. This is the Sword suit. This is cool. I like this one. See, it has like rain effects and then like bubbles in the background, which is interesting. 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6. See, and this is what I also mean, like I get confused. See how this one has color choice and then this one doesn't. I'm just curious about what the stylistic reasoning behind that is. But again, I don't know much about Marseille, so maybe it's like a Marseille thing. Or that, I don't know, she wanted to make them all different, maybe. I don't know. Okay, we have the Page of Swords. See what I mean? Like, let's look here. Like his hair. See how weird the hair looks? I guess that's what I'm talking about more. Like some of her style feels a little unpolished. I don't know. So basically, as I'm going through this, right, like the knight, you might be thinking, well, what are your thoughts? It's kind of like this. I feel like this is going to be, if you like Marseille, you might even like this. Or even if you like her art style, you might like this deck a lot. This is the Queen of Swords and the King. I do like his jacket, though. This is actually pretty cool. I like the depiction. I do like his jacket. If you like this art style and stuff, I feel like you would like this deck. I feel like for me, this is going to be more of a deck that I have right now just so I can study Marseille. But based on art style and otherwise, it probably won't stay in my collection forever. I don't really see it like that. This is the wand suit now. It's interesting, and I like that it made, see, there's the like patterns again. And it's like here too. It definitely makes this like a nice in-between of fancy and modern for Marseille, which is why I kind of like it for that. Like how the miners and stuff are illustrated, and some of the choices, like again, like I like that this deck does feature diversity. Like there's different skin tones. Some people look older, some people look younger. I do like that about this deck. I'm just not 100% sold on the art style, even though the colors in this are nice. Let me at least say that. This is the Page of Wands. The Knight. The Queen. I do like her, though. See, her hair looks more put together. This is, I don't know. I don't know if it's all in my head or not. But like some of the people look more put together than others. Like these two look fine, but some of the others looked like they were more wispy. But then again, her dress feels more unfinished. So it's like, I don't know. It's just an interesting style, I guess. It's just one that doesn't as drive with me. Oh, okay. So interesting. Okay. I forgot that she said she was going to do this. So there's like some extra cards here. It says it takes time is one of them. They're almost like extra cards or like oracle cards. And then the time is now. And then what it seemed, oh. Okay, interesting. When you have this many pages, people, of card information, you have this many, and they're cards. My question becomes, why didn't you just do a guidebook at this point then? You know what I mean? This feels like a lot. And I feel like it would take up look, it takes up like a good amount of space for this deck. But as you can see, there's Wand Words Association, Swords Association, coins, cups, majors, 2 for the majors. It looks, no, 3 for the majors. Okay, and there's 3 major ones. But then, interestingly, she makes a choice to do the numerology associations, and then the aces specifically, and suits associations. And if I look at these, like if I look at the wands, let's just do an experiment here. I look at the wands. I'm looking at some of these keywords. The thing that I'm noticing right away is I'm not seeing too much of a difference from RWS to Marseille. So maybe there aren't as many differences as I thought there was, which is kind of interesting. Although I am noticing some things that are a little different. For instance, for the 4 wands, the keywords are showing stalemate, tension, temporary rest, creative delay, slow down, pause, which is very opposite usually of the meaning that one would get from the RWS 4 of Wands, where it's the marriage card. It's about celebration. So maybe that is more Marseille. I don't know. But then I see, where is it? Then I see the 8 though. See the 8 of Wands? It shows regulation, rules, lost, roadblock, controlled environment, order, which is, again, yes, very different from typical RWS. So maybe this is actually like Marseille meanings. But just looking at these cards, it's really interesting to see what is still kind of the same from RWS and what is, I guess, different. So this might be very useful to have, just like these, to learn it. But I kind of wish that instead of being cards that take up a bulk, if you wanted the same space, why didn't you just use paper, which would have been thinner, you know what I mean? And made the deck spacing in here a little better, because I anticipate this might be hard to always try to get in and out. But I don't know. I really don't know. But actually, now that I have finished looking through this deck, oops, sorry, I'm going to take these out again because, yeah, I'm going to shuffle this up. And I'm going to see how easy this will be to shuffle. Because you guys know, not all, what's it called? Not all rose petal finish is made the same, right? Some are easy to shuffle and some are not. So, oh, I haven't even used this deck yet. And it has like a little nick on the side. What the heck? See that? Anyways, sorry, my eye caught that. Let's see how easy it is to overhand. Okay. What I'm noticing is it's not bad for me. But as I go, some of it is clumping together. And I feel like that's what always happens with rose petal. No matter how lighter it is than some others, it is still a bit clumpy. So it does clump a little. I have noticed with rose petal though, the more you use it over time and do some stuff to it, it makes it a little easier to shuffle. So this isn't like a big deal. For those who are like, oh, why are you worrying about that? It's like, no, it's literally just what it does in the beginning. One trick I found that helps it temporarily, I don't know if any of you guys do this or not. If you go like this, and then do that on the last side, and then shuffle it. See how it's easier now? It only works temporarily. But if you didn't know that trick with rose petal finish, now you do. You can temporarily make the deck kind of unsticky for a little bit by doing that. So I do that sometimes if I have a rose petal finish deck. Just so you know, I guess. If you've never done that before. Now, what I'm going to do, since I'm just like shuffling, seeing how well it shuffles. Again, this is a good size though. I really like this mini is a good size. Now that I've done some shuffling, let's just randomly lay out cards. I'm not like trying to do a collective reading for everyone. I don't. That's not what's going on here. I just want to see how these look all together. Like if I was to randomly draw cards, how it presents. So let's see. Oh, see, so they stuck together. Some of these are stuck. They didn't shuffle. See how it's mostly, it's all in the same wheelhouse. Kind of a bummer. I was hoping to see, here, let me try to draw some more since they got clumped together. I'm trying to get a combo of like, yeah, here we go. I'm trying to get a combo of like the minors with some of this, just because that would be like a typical reading, you know? It wouldn't be just all majors and stuff. But I still got a lot of majors, so overall it does look nice. It's just very different than what I normally care for art style wise. Normally I wouldn't be drawn to that kind of art style, or this kind of art style, I mean, just because again, I like things that are a little cleaner looking and not very obvious, or not as obvious that it was like digitally made, I guess is the better word for it. Oh, see, now we're getting like, it did not shuffle as well as I thought it would. That's a shame. But yeah, this is this deck. Metanoia Marseille. I am on the fence about how I feel, but I wanted to show this deck for others who might like this style, who might like this artist, who might like to get their hands on a Marseille deck that has more of a regency feel to it and trying to dip their toes into Marseille as well. There's a deck for everybody, and even though my opinion, I'm sorry, is like kind of mixed feeling, like I'm not sure, there are great positives about this deck. Like again, this deck is a smaller size, so the fact that she even offers a mini is amazing because not all creators do. The edging is really cool, and yeah, I do like the way that the minors are illustrated. So for those reasons, I do like that. I just think it's a very interesting deck. But yeah, I will probably be using it more as a study deck. You guys probably won't see it a lot on my space, but I still wanted to shout it out because it's a Kickstarter that came in, and it came in right around now for the holidays. So that was cool too. And yeah. So if you've stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again next time. Bye!